Greetings, my brothers and sisters, and welcome once again to our YouTube channel called Parish Life and Mission Vlog. Today's topic, we will reflect on the rite of Christian initiation for adults, or famously known in its acronym RCIA. It's a wonderful ancient practice of the Church where we welcome and baptize those adults who wants to be incorporated into Christ's body, joining us in the community of faith. It's a wonderful journey for those who are converting to Christianity. And today, we shall reflect on this journey together. So welcome. So today, we have once again Deacon Malcolm Law sharing with us first his personal journey towards RCIA, the Rite of Christian Initiation for Adults. So welcome, Deacon Malcolm.
Thank you, Lawrence. It's nice to be here, and hello everybody.
And now, share with us your personal journey of your conversion.
Well, I'm a married person, so my wife is Mariola, and she's Polish, so everything was Catholic. And I used to take her to Mass, and then drive home, and then I used to come back and pick her up. And one day I made the mistake of coming into Mass and sitting there, and there was something there that attracted me, and the people from the parish that we were involved in were very welcoming. They took me under their wing. A lot of them didn't even understand that I wasn't Catholic, because I'd been there after a year or so of always coming on the Sunday morning, same seat every week. And then we had a wonderful parish priest who knew who I was, and he was the first person I told that I made the decision that I felt that I needed to become a Catholic. It was a bit difficult because my background would have been Anglican, but I had no connection with the Anglicans. And my children three of them were all baptized Catholic and received the sacraments of initiation and First Holy Communion and confirmation. So I thought that I had to do something to change the way that I was thinking, because it would bring more unity into the family. And so I made the decision I wanted to become a Catholic, and Father was delighted. He straight away, he jumped up from his chair, he went out to his office and brought me a book, 10 Things You Need to Know About Being Catholic. Yes, he was delighted. Unfortunately, it was Father Jock. He died before I actually finished my journey, but he was a very important influence on that journey up to that point.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Malcolm, for sharing with us. Now, in your sharing, I kind of hint something. You encounter something there that also prompted you to take on this journey. Could you elaborate more of that encounter?
There was two types of encounter that, as I said, the one with the people. The hospitality I experienced was a surprise for me, because I expected to be judged, and I wasn't judged, and that was critical. And they were interested in who I was as a person. And it's the first time ever in my life that other people, a group of people, wanted to actually know who I was. The other encounter, of course, was that as you're journeying in your faith, you're encountering more and more the presence of God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And you cannot verbalize what you're experiencing, because you don't understand what you're experiencing. But it's attractive, and it keeps you grounded and keeps you longing for more. So during my journey, every time I would encounter people and they would talk to me about, I'd have that aha, things would make sense. And I realized that I was with the people that understood who I was and what I was experiencing.
Yeah, and it's an important element in that journey of conversion, the encounter. It reminds me of the story of the different stories that the gospel writers presented to us whenever Jesus encountered different people, or people themselves encountered Jesus. What does Jesus say to them? Follow me. Follow me.
He doesn't do what you expect him to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that, in that initial encounter, there was this invitation. And what I hear from you is that you encounter from these people the welcoming attitude, and in a sense, this is Jesus, you're encountering Jesus as well, Jesus welcoming you and journeying with you and inviting you.
Yes,
as well.
yes. Yeah, there's the invitation without and acceptance. Invitation and acceptance was probably the two things throughout the whole journey that's important from, and especially from Christ. Christ is calling you, come to me as you are. And then transformation really happens afterwards. It's a long journey of transformation of the whole of your life from then to where I am today. So there's no bolt of lightning. It's just a gentle, loving presence of Christ in your life, so that he's at the back of your mind, and he starts to come to the front of your mind, and you start to see things the way that they should really be. Your journey, what a human being is. And it's the same on the actual ceremony itself on that Easter Saturday night. I didn't really experience anything divine in a way, because you're just excited and you're nervous and you're all sorts of things that are going through your mind. But I can look back on that day and I can point to a date in time when my life changed, and it was the sacraments of confirmation and then receiving Holy Communion for the first time. At that point, I began to see my life differently, and I began to see the world differently. So already the Spirit was working, transforming, but gently and loving the whole experience.
And then eventually, that's your realization, that's the divine aspect already kicking in. And in the same time, there's the human element as well.
Yes,
So,
it's gentle and loving and accepting, the whole experience. And then you have the elation, the joy of the week after Easter. I remember the joy of being able to go to communion with my family, and all my dreams were fulfilled in that one moment. And that was the goal of my whole journey, was we can be in unity as a family, and sharing communion together was that unity. Of course, there was more to come, but I was elated at that time. I was delighted to be there at that time.
and you spoke about joy. I mean, as you know, you underwent RCIA, and then you received the sacraments, and being belonging now to the community of faith, you experienced that joy. And actually, at the same time, I've seen that in my own experience when I received the candidates for RCIA and eventually celebrating the sacraments at Easter Vigil. There is also that sense of joy of the community as well.
Yes.
So it's both joy of the person and the joy of the community, which eventually and ultimately is the joy of God.
And it was the first time in my life I've ever actually really belonged to something, and it was the church. It was a parish. I became very close. Was invited within 2 weeks by the parish secretary to be involved in some parish activities. So already we were journeying together, and everywhere I went, every committee or group that I was involved with in the parish were always welcoming, and we all knew that we were on a journey together. I think that was, looking back, that was very important, that we were all on a road journeying together. We were a group of people, we were all the same.
And that journey eventually led you to realize your vocation of that God called you to a specific service,
Yes.
the ministry of deacon.
That took a long time for me to accept. It's a long journey. It was actually 20 years from entering the church at Easter Vigil, and then 20 years later being ordained. So
It's an experience of everybody as well, that eventually the lifelong journey from the moment that we were baptized, and it's a lifelong journey, And eventually, as we open ourselves to God journeying with us, we will eventually realize where God is leading us into. Like for yourself, you had your vocation to, you answered the vocation, your calling to become a deacon. Well, I didn't go RCIA, I was baptized as a baby, but eventually I realized that I was called to the priesthood. And also, many people have realized they're also called to a married life, or even a single blessedness. So it's leading us to that vocation.
And that journey towards vocation, that journey towards entering the church is very important because it's special. And that's why we should never take shortcuts. It's easy for an adult to come into the church and say, I want to be baptized. Okay, come up and baptize them. But you're denying them that experience of journey in faith and in love and growth. Boy, there's a lot of growing. Same with vocations. That first initial yes, but then there's a long journey before you reach the end goal. And that journey is special. Even my brothers that I was ordained with, I really miss that time of journey with them, because now we're busy in ministry. We're very good friends and we get together very well, but there was an intimacy that we had as we were journeying together.
Yeah.
And I sort of miss that. And I also miss that intimacy that we had with the parish team and the other candidates and catechumens from the RCIA, that intimacy, because we're all growing together.
I mean, we're all called to grow together. This is a community of faith. We journey together. So thank you, Malcolm, for sharing with us your personal journey. And I hope this has helped you understand in a personal way the program of RCIA. Next, we will explain to you and reflect what this program entails. And Deacon Malcolm will explain to us as he himself run an RCIA program.